Hey everyone, in today's episode of Houseplant Journal, we're going to look at the peace lily. This is a pretty standard tropical houseplant. I got mine from IKEA as a Christmas present back in 2013. I really like the shiny dark green foliage. But of course, most people like them for their white flowers, which is why in the stores, you'll almost always see them with 2 to 3 blooms. Unfortunately, a lot of people buy them and then once the blooms have gone, they just throw out the rest of the plant. But if you give the peace lily what it likes, which is bright indirect sunlight and a generally root-bound pot, then it'll bloom again. I remember the first time I ever spotted that little white bulge coming out from the stem. It was really exciting. The peace lily likes to have its soil evenly moist. If you let the soil go too dry, then the leaves will go limp. If it gets to this point, then just give the peace lily a really good soaking and you'll see the leaves perk right up after a few hours. Whoa, this GIF on Tumblr has 5,000 notes! Hey peace lily, you're a Tumblr famous. Oh, why so sad today? Oh yeah, I guess the air gets kind of stale up there. Sorry about that. How about we give you a nice shower and good watering? These garden sprayers are super useful for giving your plants a shower every now and then. In the wild, wind and rain keep leaves looking fresh and clean all the time. But in your house, there's not a cloud in sight, so dust collects pretty easily on your houseplants. Now that the leaves have been cleaned off, it's time for a good watering. Look at how the leaves are all floppy. That's how you know it's thirsty. Watering your plants isn't about pouring a specific amount of water into the pot. Instead, you should be aiming to evenly and thoroughly moisten the soil without leaving any excess water in the pot. So I've set up the peace lily here for a little time lapse. Underneath it there's a saucer filled with water. So the soil will soak it right up, and then after a few hours you'll see the leaves perk up, and then finally the flower will also perk up. Let's take a look at the setup here. I've got my camera here on a tripod, sort of balanced in a funny way on my sink and counter, and oh, there goes a photo. This time lapse is probably going to take several hours, so I'm using an AC adapter for my camera. Here we have the timer for the camera. I've set it to take photos every 30 seconds. So this time lapse wasn't the greatest because, as you can see, the sun came shining through my skylight and made the exposure all funky. But you can still see that the leaves are the first things to perk up, and finally the very tip of the flower is the last thing to straighten out. Here's the peace lily fully watered. See, the leaves are all perked up, and when you kind of touch them, they bounce back. That's how you know that the plant is happily hydrated. So after the soil has adequately drained, the peace lily can go back into its container and back up to the shelf. That's all for this episode of Houseplant Journal. I'm Daryl, thanks for watching. Bye.